Welcome to a new video of 1d6. Today we are talking about asymmetry in board games. Frank and I couldn't agree where to draw the line between asymmetry and diversity, so let's jump right into it. So Frank, why do we need to talk about this?
Well, we had several discussions in the past about this topic, and a lot of publishers claim that their title is asymmetrical, but it's a marketing buzzword and it doesn't really apply to every game, and I think it's not needed for every game.
Okay, so let's first start off. Where would you say a game is asymmetrical?
Ooh, well, that's a kind of a tricky question. I think there are 3 levels of asymmetry.
Ooh, okay.
Well, the first one is asymmetry in characters or players. For instance, you have a game where one player starts out with different resources than the other player, or the character of one player has more movement than another character has. That's the first level of asymmetry, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. It's a really basic thing, and a lot of games tend to have this asymmetry in the game.
Okay.
And that's different winning goals.
Okay.
From the start on, of course,
yeah,
they're
sure.
sticked on a character or a race or a faction, and you have to gain victory points by defeating armies, while I have to grow my economical
sure.
mechanic. And that's something different. So you all work within the same game. You have all the same mechanics, but different goals within the game.
Okay.
Has to do with different game mechanics.
Okay.
So your mechanics on your race are totally different than mine, and everybody is doing his own thing within the game, and that's the top tier asymmetry in the game.
Okay, so if I could condense it, so your top list would be root, where each player does its own thing, and
yeah.
You have no idea what the other's actually doing unless you have played that faction yourself.
Yeah, or you're invested in the game and you have done your homework.
And for the second, I would be thinking a little bit of Nemesis.
That could be. The goals within Nemesis are drafted within the game. Or they're dealt at random. I'm sorry. Yeah, that could be asymmetry within the game. I'm also looking at the Kingsdilemma. Well, that's asymmetry, yeah, because you're using the same mechanics, but you have contradictory victory goals.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I can get that one. I can get.
Okay.
The first one I couldn't agree on. That would be diversity, in my opinion.
Yeah, potato. That's
no.
I think a lot of publishers don't agree with you. They're calling it asymmetry because you have a different starting point. You have different chances on getting the win in a certain reaching certain points of doing so. So I'm not quite sure if I'm...
So, for example, if I would take The Witcher.
Yeah.
In The Witcher, the characters are different.
Yes, exactly.
The starting locations are different because they are linked to the school.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, the victory condition is still the same. You need to attack the different Witcher. You need to have at least 4 or 5 totems.
Yeah.
Still asymmetry. Or diversity?
Well, maybe with I think asymmetry and diversity go hand in hand. So that's difficult to separate. But take Bloodrage, for instance. Mm-hmm. So the game starts off equally. Every player has the same army, has the same victory goals. Everything is the same within the game. But the asymmetry starts when you're drafting cards, and these are really these will really
determine the future of your play.
Exactly. You can go low-key if you don't draw the Loki cards. So, and if your opponent has all the Loki cards, yeah, that route to victory is shut down for you.
Okay, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, but I still would call that diversity, because you can also always, during that game, change the course of your strategy.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you're going to win, but it is a possibility.
Yeah, okay.
And diversity is in the cards.
Let's take one step back and say, okay, diversity, Black Rose Wars. There are different mages within the game.
Yeah.
And these mages do different things. One mage is better suited for direct damage output, while the other mage is better suited for trap laying, for instance. And I think, yeah, okay, it's the first level of asymmetry. Yes, I agree. It's not the biggest difference, but if you're very equipped to do direct damage, you'll be pushed by the game to take a different route than the trap laying mage.
Okay, yeah. I still don't agree, but I do. But I do.
But you do agree.
but I do understand what you're coming from.
Yeah.
But let me ask the different question then. What is, according to you, diversity in a board game?
Well, diversity is the option to change the game, to change goals within the game. So take Zombicide, for instance. You can play different missions, and that's the diversity or variety that you're looking for. So the game and the mechanics, that's all still the same, but the diversity is within the goals that you're setting for yourself.
Okay, and if I would say Powergrid, what kind of a game would that? Would it be diversity? Because there are different places that you can start. There are different factories that you can
or different maps. That's also diversity within the game, but it's not asymmetry.
No, it's totally not asymmetry. No.
But yeah, I think that Black Rose Wars is a great example. The asymmetry comes from the different characters.
Okay, yeah, I would call that diversity, because in a computer game, you can also choose different characters.
Yeah.
And they might do a little bit different, but if I would say Stellaris has certain asymmetry, because certain factions don't use resource X or resource Y.
Yeah.
So that is really different. But if I would say I could choose a different character because it looks different, or it makes a little bit more sound, or is a little bit more quiet,
yeah,
I would say that is diversity. It entices you to try something different while still being the same game.
Yeah, I disagree on that. No, I do agree. It's the least asymmetry you can put into a game. I agree on that, but it is asymmetry because the players are not equally treated. Your chances on a several path to victory are different than the other player, and that's asymmetry. If there's no asymmetry within the game, everyone has the same path to victory, has the same chances to victory.
Okay. So if I would try and put it on one last Dominion.
Dominion, not asymmetric.
No, there's no asymmetry in the game.
You have the same goals, you have the same market, you have the same chances.
And then, in that case, by buying extra or expansions, there would be diversity coming
That's
into
diversity. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Now we're on the same page.
Now, I still don't agree, but okay, hey, I can understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
Now, I am actually interested in where do you draw the line? But before you think this is the end of the video, in what game is asymmetry involved, but it is more of a hindrance than a plus point to the game?
I think the competitive games benefit less from asymmetry than the co-op campaign games. If you're playing a co-op campaign game, for instance, okay, every week is same-ish, so you get to know the other characters too, but you all have the same goal. So you have a wizard with all these different mechanics and all these different spells, and I have a fighter class which does something totally different, but we have the same goal, so it doesn't matter. You do you and I do me, and that's fine.
Yeah, so in this case you are, I think, referencing Gloomhaven.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. There's a lot of asymmetry within the different characters, but okay, you have your class, I have my summoner, which is totally different. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, well, I think the perfect example for asymmetry done perfectly is Too Many Bones.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is, because all characters are different, they work differently. You have a little bit of an understanding what somebody is doing, because you know the whole game revolves around rolling dice. Sure, you have no idea what the dice they are rolling at this point are going to be doing, but you know that if they roll bones, then at least that is something that you can pretty much relate to. And within the first couple of rounds you have a pretty good idea of what that character is about and what its strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah. And there is one game which I didn't like that much, because I had a hard time getting to know the game, and it had quite a lot of asymmetry within the game, and that's Scarface.
Yeah.
I find it hard to grasp what's going on the table. He's doing this because he has different actions and different cards, and it was way too much at the first play.
I don't really know if that is the asymmetry or the diversity in the cards, because...
Yeah, it's a combination of both, because the asymmetry comes from the
characters.
The characters.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of difference between those characters.
Sure.
Some may say some characters are
overpowered.
Yeah, exactly. And then all these unique cards.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I really want to get the game again to the table, because I do think it is a blast and it has a moment to shine.
Yeah.
But I do agree that this is something that has a little bit of too much, and
every player needs the same level of investment into the game, and that can be hard in a player group. Naturally, there are players who are less involved into a game. That's just nature.
And I think I have a very good example of a game that says it's asymmetrical, but it actually isn't.
Which one?
That is Frostpunk. Because in Frostpunk, the game is the game. The whole game is the game. You just have 4 people on a table, and they can be the foreman or the curer or one of those. They can be 4 advisor roles. And you've got these sheets, and these sheets tell each player on one of those 9 points some extra bit of information. And you might say that is asymmetry, because they work differently, but they don't work differently. They just have a little bit more of the rules explained to that player, so he can focus on that part of the game.
But is he... if that part of the game occurs, is he leading on that part, or isn't he? Or is it a team effort?
It's a team effort
on all different...
On all those elements, it's a team effort. Only he has the final say.
Okay.
So sure, if it's 2-2, then...
But is it a co-op game where every player has his own goals too?
No. There's a common resource pool.
Completely co-op.
It's completely co-op. There's a common resource pool, but yet each player has a different main attribute to focus on.
All right.
And that is the only difference is the card that you hold and its mechanic, and that is. It's overkill. They shouldn't have done that.
All right. Okay. Well.
Okay. All in all, is asymmetry a plus to the board gaming hobby, or is it a hindrance?
well, getting back to those 3 levels, I think the 2 first levels are fine by me. The 3rd level can be a hindrance.
Yeah, so you need to get the right player group to be able to play the 3rd.
Yeah.
For me, if I pretty much agree on number 3 and 2, so that would be asymmetry to me.
Yeah.
And the other one I would call no asymmetry. But hey, again, we would like to know what your opinion is about
let our viewers decide. Let our viewers decide.
We're not going to do a poll. Last time I saw,
too bad.
I've seen that most people agreed with you, so I'm a little bit disappointed on that.
I'm not. No, let us know what your opinion is on this matter, and do also tell us if asymmetry is something that is good for board gaming or that it's a nuisance in sometimes.
Yeah, and while you're at it, if you are at least writing, then I would like to know your favorite asymmetrical game.
Yeah.
Or what is, according to you, somewhere on page 1 for Frank and page 2 for us both, the best asymmetrical game? Or are you one of those hardcore gamers who would like to play level 3 asymmetrical games?
Yeah.
And which one should we maybe buy so that we both can be seen as noobs, or at least we can be proven differently?
We can see as noobs in every game. No matter. But please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next discussion. Thanks for watching, and
we'll see you in the next video.
Be prepared next time.